Hey, Courtney.
Yes, hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
All right.
we're going to be talking about the concierge service and how Courtney has this worked out. So, Courtney, you tell us all about it.
Yeah, great. So I am the owner of Closings Simplified. So a little bit of background about myself. I have been a realtor with Keller Williams Elite Realty, which is in the South Asheville office, for about 2 years now. I am a full broker, no longer a provisional broker, and have been for the better part of this whole year. So my background, of course, is being a realtor for the past 2 years, but as well as almost 10 years experience as a paralegal. I've worked a little bit in real estate, a little bit in contracts, as well as kind of social service law, different types of law. So attention to detail is my strong suit. And so it's no surprise that I've gravitated towards this transactional piece of real estate. That's just my ballpark. And that's where I feel like I can really offer a good benefit for agents and clients. So
that's great.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going to take us through kind of how it works and what our steps are. So
yeah. So the main services that Closing Simplified offers is going to be contract to close services, as well as contract drafting. There is no marketing pieces at the moment. That will eventually, I think, move on towards a marketing department that will eventually have. However, for now, it's contract drafting. So whether that be contract drafting for like a listing agreement or contract drafting for your offer to purchase. There also is another service that I provide, which is MLS input. So you will gather all the information for your listing and you'll submit that as well as everything else on the website. And then I will go in and based on the MLS input form that you get off of the MLS, off of Canopy MLS, or whatever MLS you're, that's the only one that I have access to though. So that's the only limitation is if you have an MLS input for another MLS, I would be limited and wouldn't be able to do that one. But so that is another service that I also offer. That is tied in with the concierge service. So I'm sure as everybody is onboarding and learning new about Keller Williams, that is a new service and a new program that Keller Williams Professionals has offered. It's the supported program, which offers concierge service. So that is going to include 3 different moving pieces. That includes contract to close services. So within your new commission split, contract to close services would be already included in that split. And then also there is a marketing piece. So you would get a social media flyer, an email flyer, and a print flyer. And that will be uploaded into your command so that you can use for future use. You will also be set up with a 36 touch campaign or something similar. The agent, it is their responsibility to categorize their contacts, organize those, and identify which contacts they want to be included within that touch campaign. And I will go in there and set that up and make that so that the contacts are automatically in there for that.
That's exciting. Ooh,
yeah.
That's big. That's big.
Very. So the only piece that is not included in that would be the contract drafting. Yeah. And then anybody else on any other service.
Was that for the supported? Is that right? Contract drafting is not.
So the supported program does not offer the contract drafting. It only offers or includes the contract to close services.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, any other of the programs, either the classic or the enhanced, obviously those aren't included in that. However, contract to close services is just $300 per contract. You can still tap into those MLS input, contract drafting options. Those 3 services, the contract drafting and the MLS input, 2 services, are only $20 per contract or per MLS input. And then contract to close services is $300.
Okay, and so the agents then that are choosing those a la carte services would pay you directly. What does that look like?
Yeah, so Keller Williams has been really great, through our partnership with my company and Keller Williams Professionals. It was important for us that we keep our prices low and keep our prices competitive because this isn't a service that we are only offering Keller Williams professionals and Elite and their agents. This isn't something that's offered to Beverly Hanks and Remax. It's just us. So it was important that we make things easy, we make things streamlined, and we make things affordable. So everything will be submitted through your commissions. So through the contract to close, I will go in, I will submit your commissions for you as part of the service. And it'll be like a line item deduction. I don't know if you're familiar when you go in, like it's the same process as adding a referral.
And this is in command, right?
Yeah, it is in command under your commissions tab. So you'll add the deduction, and I will put in there Closing Simplified, $300. And the fee is actually paid to Keller Williams because they're going to deduct that out of your commissions as a deduction. Right. And then we have an agreement between my company and them for payment of those services.
That sounds super simple.
It is, yeah, it's super simple. The only outlier is the MLS input and the contract drafting. So that will actually reflect on your agent dues.
Okay.
So I will keep track of that. I have that in a spreadsheet. And once a month on the 5th of the month, I'll report that to the Market Center, and they will charge those services on the monthly dues.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So if I were an agent wanting to engage your services, what is that? How do we get started with that? What's the process look like?
Yes. So obviously I'm a quick phone call or text or email away. So just to give you my contact detail here before we dive into how to order, the email for the company is closingssimplified@gmail.com. And then my phone number is 828-243-4819.
Say that one more time for me. I'm going to put it in our little chat box here.
So it's 828-243-4819.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then our website, of course, is the www.closedsimply.com.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And if you want, I can go ahead and try to share my screen so we can show everybody the website and how that works.
That would be terrific.
Okay, let me know if you were seeing it on your end.
Yes, I see it.
Great. Okay, so this is the main page of the website. You can feel free anytime to go through and just browse along. There will be information about myself and the services we offer. There's also some reviews from other agents that are affiliated with Keller Williams Professionals or Keller Williams Elite. So here at the top is where you'll find the different tabs, of course. Order services. This is going to be the key tab that you will go to order services. But first, I will go to what we do really, and the steps that we will take care for you during the contract process. So for buyer contract to close, of course, there's going to be a compliance piece, making sure there's no missing signatures. Obviously, human error can occur, so I'm not going to say that I'm going to be 100% accurate every single time when I go through it. But the goal is to make sure, as much as I can, that all the documents are in compliance, the right forms, the right signatures are in the right spot. There's no missing signatures. So just verifying all of that, coordinating and making sure that the agent is in receipt of the due diligence and earnest money checks, making sure that that is sent to the lender and the attorney, as well as all of the executed paperwork. Communication is really the biggest piece. It's just making sure that the communication with everybody that is in a transaction or part of a transaction is on the same page at all times. Ordering inspections. I also will make sure all important dates are in your calendar. So I'll be sending you a calendar invite that includes the due diligence date, the end date for that, as well as a 3-day reminder on your calendar. You cannot be reminded enough that due diligence is ending. So the calendar dates as well as the closing date if we have that already. Then also making sure just everything through the process is done. Appraisal's been ordered, title work's been ordered. If you want a survey, that is completed. I will not negotiate due diligence requests. I think that is a service that really needs to be done by the agent themselves. However, I will draft that document, send it for signature, send it to all parties that is needed. Let's see, ordering home warranties. I will do that as well. Obtaining the utility information for your client for when they move in. Making sure the walkthrough is completed. I will review the HUD statement. However, the final approval, of course, does need to be by the realtor. And I'll just make sure that everything's in compliance and that, most importantly, you get paid on time. So
I feel so organized looking at your list.
yeah.
I'm like, wow, I am on top of all this. I know the Bics will be happy for all these various steps as well. So that
Yeah.
resonates with me for sure.
Yeah, and it's
yeah.
the same. It kind of mirror images the listing contract to close. So that is the same thing. Obviously, there's not as many moving parts for a listing besides just making sure that the other side is doing their job to meet deadlines as well. So it kind of mirror images what the buyer contract to close looks like. But really, that is our services. And, you know, they say that it's anywhere from 16 to 20 hours that you spend on a file to get it ready for closing. So by hiring the transaction coordinating services and working and partnering with my company, that's 16 to 20 hours that you save, that you can be lead genning, you can be going on new appointments, you can be signing those new buyers, going on showings, and really doing the key parts that a realtor loves to do. You know, a lot of them just, we don't like to look at the finer details. So leave that up to myself and you work on doing you and being the best realtor out there.
That's so exciting. I love it.
Yeah. So here, do you have any questions, I guess, about the services?
Yeah. Do you update? I mean, like, or do we see things in command? Is that kind of the update process that certain steps have happened?
Yeah. So I don't really do any kind of like notating about step to step what I do. I will go in there always and update and upload all the documents. So you'll be able to go in there all the time and see when the documents have been uploaded, which documents are still missing. Obviously, there is a piece when it comes to compliance. So if something comes back on compliance, I will not get notified that piece. So of course, the notification just goes to the realtor. So it'll be the realtor's job to kind of give me, hey, like I got this note. Obviously, I'll be going in there and checking it. So when it comes back to compliance and working that out, I will put notes in there that goes back and forth between who the broker in charge is and myself or the agent.
Great.
So you will be able to see that piece.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so up here, you will, so in order to engage in services and really hand off that file, this is where you're going to go. So you're going to click on order services. If you are a new agent who has not ever engaged in services with my company, you will need to click on the new client form and submit that form as well. I will show you what that looks like. So it is just an embedded Google form. So it'll request your email address, your name, what office do you work for? And what I mean, I don't mean Keller Williams. What I mean with that is, are you Weaverville? Are you Waynesville? Are you Black Mountain? Are you Asheville? Are you South Asheville? I need that information for tracking purposes. And then what electronic signature platform you use. Obviously, our preference is always going to be DocuSign, and it should be DocuSign. However, for those that are still in dotloop, I still can go into dotloop and do the forms as well. But my goal would be to transfer you over to DocuSign. So your username and password for those programs. What CRM do you use? Some use something other than Command. So I would need to know that, as well as the username and password for that. And then the next is really your vendors. You know, do you have relationships with measurement companies, attorneys, lenders, home warranty companies? Because I want to maintain those relationships for you. And so it's important that I use those. Now, if you're new and you have no idea who you want to use, I do have recommendations and you can use those as well. So that is the new client form. So ordering services, so contract to close, contract drafting, MLS input. This is where you'll go for this. So you'll hit order services. the saying, your email, your name. So because we have 3 different tiers now for commission, it's important that I know what tier you're in, because if I don't know you're part of the concierge program, then I may accidentally charge you that $300 when you don't need to be charged. So it's just a quick drop down, whether you're classic, supported, or enhanced. So based on what you choose, so if you choose supported and you choose your service, so let's say it's a buyer, I'm going to type in a test here. Okay. So it'll take you to the next portion of the Google form. And so this is going to be everything that you'll need. So the property address that you are under contract on, the closing attorney and their contact information if you have it, the client's name. That way I can pull that command file in Command. Now, the preference would be for you to already have an opportunity set up in Command for this contract. However, if you don't, it's no biggie, no deal breaker. I can create that opportunity for you.
Okay.
So the email address, and then the rest is just about it, like what inspections. You're going to click which ones you would like me to order. If you haven't had that conversation yet with your client, that's okay. Just put a little note in the notes section on this form that tells me, hey, I haven't had this conversation yet. Would you mind having it? And I'd be happy to have that conversation with your client.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So then questions about, do you want a survey? This one right here is important to me. Every agent's different. And so, and I want to respect that. Some agents like me to go into DocuSign, send everything out directly to their clients. And of course, I identify myself as the transaction coordinator. So even though I'm using your DocuSign, I'm still identifying myself as a transaction coordinator and not the agent.
Right.
But some people prefer that I draft the documents and I create the envelope, and then they go in and submit it themselves.
Yeah, that's great. Good option.
Yeah, so you'll just kind of give me consent, so to speak, of which one you would rather me do. And then that is it. Right here's the button where you'll upload all of the documents. If for some reason you run out of space, you can just email those to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, that looks super simple.
It is very simple. So there is a little bit of data entry in the beginning. But other than that, once you do that piece, it goes to me. And so I will do the introductory emails. I have some really great introductory emails that go to the client. That's just really great. And it really shows us as a partnership to provide them the best service possible.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
How about turnaround time? I mean, and should agents be aware of the time of day that they're submitting something and kind of expecting a return? What will that look like?
So obviously you can text me or call me. If it's late, feel free to give me a text anytime and just let me know, hey, I'm submitting this over. Regardless, I will get an email notification as soon as something is submitted. So if you're submitting something that's late in the evening, I probably will not do the introductory emails till first thing the next morning or by lunchtime. So my turnaround is pretty fast. If you send me something that day, I try to get everything out, all the documents to the attorney and the lender that same day.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is good. Is there anything I should have asked or anything that I totally forgot on this?
No, I mean, I don't think so. I think, this is a really great service, not just because it's my company, but knowing, me being a realtor as well. It takes sometimes, there's just so many fine details that come up in the communication back and forth with agents on requesting things. And it really takes away from your business. And having this service, whether it be through the supported program or just a la carte service for the transaction coordinating, it really, I think, is going to help you with that roller coaster realtor wave. We kind of go up and down, depending on what we do. And so I think that by tapping into the service, it's really great. And it can really provide some consistency and some big growth to your business.
Yeah, that's exciting. I think it's so worth what we pay you to do this, and it's great, especially if you have more than one transaction might be fine to manage, but the minute you start to get multiples, wow, it's so good to know that you would be on top of things. So, well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
This is terrific. I'm excited for everybody to get going and really kind of test out the experience with you.
Yeah, no, I am so excited too. And so I really appreciate you reaching out and doing this recording for your agents. I think it's great. It will save them a lot of time from having to reach out on their own, and this allows them to have their questions answered. So
yeah, well, that's good. I will see you in the transaction room then.
yeah, perfect. Thanks.